Love and peace, this is Ray. So, heading off to work, and I wanted to share this bit of information, this message about business, about having your own business. Most people don't realize it, believe it or not. We have our own business. We've been running our business for a long time, since we've actually were born on this planet. And unfortunately, a lot of us do not see a great return in our business. In fact, many of us don't even realize that we are excuse me, actually running a business. See, our business is us. Our investments and returns based off the choices and people and circumstances we surround ourselves with are our returns. That's our investments. We invest in those things and we receive returns from those same things. Okay? So, just like in most businesses, you have to put work into your business, which is within yourself. Many individuals do not do that. In fact, many individuals are more concerned with other people's businesses. We see this in the form of drama, where someone is like always judging or worrying about someone else. What is that person doing? What is that person not doing? Or we see it in our own jobs, which is really, again, not even our business. It's the company's business. That's their business. And I don't mean business as, oh, mind your own business. I mean in the sense of that's their actual company. That's their actual business, place of business. So you have to treat yourself and your place of business, which is your business. This is where the term comes, mind your own business. And that's what they're indicating. And most people don't get that. Mind your own business, they thinking, oh, that's been around for a long time. That just means to don't concern yourself with the things that matter to me. And that's a good definition of that. But it all goes deeper than that. Mind your own business is basically an indication to run your business, to question yourself and say, what are you doing to invest in your own business or your own company? Because you are your own company. What are you doing to gain the necessary tools so that you can grow and that you can become abundant in all things that you desire to become abundant in? Okay? Because a lot of people think that you have to have a great abundance of wealth in the beginning in order to have those investments or return financially, the physical, right? When in truth, when you look at someone such as King Solomon, he had the wisdom. He was given the wisdom by the Creator. And based off the universal laws, if you have the wisdom, the know-how, that within yourself and you know it, and you have confidence in it, and you apply it, then the laws, the universal laws state that as within, so without. Okay? So whatever you believe in here, the physical must reflect that. It may take some time depending on how long you believe, because if you say it's going to take me 5 years to run my business, and then 5 years come and then maybe you don't see that your business is where you want it to be, because you kind of like self-destructed by making that statement. Say, oh yeah, it'll take me 5 years. And you're putting an expectation on it. And you're putting on saying it's got to be like this. And when you do that, it's kind of like self-destruction. That's what I mean by self-destruction. So when those 5 years come, what happens? Oh, maybe I didn't do it so well this 5 years that have passed. Maybe it'll take me another 5 years. And then there you go again. But if you say that my business is now prosperous, now. It's about believing it now. Not 5 years from now, not 20 years from now, now. Believe it now. Focus on changing your belief within yourself now as you align yourself in the physical by taking whatever necessary actions you need to take. So by the time that the 5 years come along, you're going to be further along than you were before. Okay? Because you're building it within yourself. That is the key. If you're trying to do it externally, totally and solely externally, the disappointment is going to be huge. And that's why a lot of people, they falter within the practice and the application of the universal laws of the mindset. Okay? So running your business, you're keeping your own business, running your own company, you have to live your life like you are your business. You are your company. So therefore you have to find ways to invest within your company, within yourself, within your business. You are your business. Okay? It's very important to understand that terminology, to have that awareness, to think like that. I am my own business. How can I today continue to invest into my business? What people, circumstances, situations, or events would benefit my business, myself, okay, to grow? And the investments that we're looking for, again, yeah, the money's gonna come. By building who you need to become, by building yourself, your business, the money will come. You have to build your characteristical traits, okay? You have to master the faculties of your mind. You have to reprogram yourself with new paradigms, new belief systems, which are characteristical traits. If you develop the right characteristical traits, which are the different success mindset aspects of the different aspects of the success mindset, if you can build those things, so if you become, I'll give you a couple. So let's say you're not action orientated. You say you want to do something, but you don't do something. Then you have to say, okay, I have to develop the characteristical trait of an action-oriented mindset. I think it, I make that decision in here, and once it becomes finite in here, I take the action. That's it. There is no ifs, no buts. There is no doubting it. That's it. If it doesn't go the way I want it to go in the first initial phase of my first trial, then that doesn't mean nothing. That means there's another way. And then if that way doesn't work, okay, there's another way. All right, cool. There's another way, there's another way, there's another way. And you keep doing that until you get the result. And that's another misconception too. People say, well, how, if I tried 5 times or 20 times, how much more can I possibly try? Well, how badly do you truly believe in that which you're trying to allow into your life? Okay? And it's got to be, you just got to have that mindset that is do or die. But at the same time, there's another tool that you have to, that goes with that. And these are, again, good examples of characteristical traits that we have to develop. They're the way we think. And so let's go back to that example before. If you're like trying, okay, and let's say you're trying and you put in a lot of effort, and then you start to realize that you gather some more information down the road that you didn't have before, and you begin to realize that this is something that you could do it a different way, or there's something that maybe it really would not benefit you, and initially you thought it would. You got to be stubborn and being persistent and determined, and not letting the world of any outside stimuli, person or thing, dictate to you if you should quit or if you should continue. Yeah, be stubborn and say, no, I believe in what I believe. Okay, that's healthy. But what you want to do is, you got to be able to, if you realize at some point down the line that there's something better, or it's something that you get that clarity, like, you know what, this really doesn't benefit me. And I tried it. I learned a lot from it, that I'm going to take this knowledge, because maybe that's what it was. You're supposed to take that knowledge with you to the next level of what you're supposed to really have. So you had to go through those lessons. So then you gotta be willing to let it go, to walk away from it. And says, cut my losses. I'm gonna cut my losses, and not be upset or angry or think you faltered or you failed. No, you didn't. You had to go through this path down here, this fork in the road, to gain that knowledge that was going to benefit you on the greater thing that the universe truly wants to bless you with. It just says, okay, I'm going to take you down here. It didn't tell you that was the actual thing that you was going to have. You thought that, because when we put too much thought, that's another thing, characteristical trait that is a good example. Do not overthink things. If you make a decision to be successful in general, does it really matter how you're successful? You have to allow the universe to run freely without you trying to control it, so that it can bring equal to or greater than what you truly desire. What you truly desire, not what you think you desire. There's a difference. You see, the universe already knows what you desire. The universe already has created and separated those things for you, so there is no lack of. So if the universe wants to give you millions of dollars, which most people seem to think that that's going to free them from their their bondage, but the truth is our bondage are within our own mind, within our own selves. But by developing these characteristical traits, by learning the success mindset, you're now, and going back to what we first originally started talking about, you're now investing in your business by learning these things. And as you learn these things, they take time, and it takes a lot of work. But those are long-term investments that will never change. As time changes, they will never change. Okay? So you take a person like Napoleon Hill, or Anthony Robbins, or Oprah Winfrey, or Will Smith, someone who really understands the philanthropist mindset, which is very similar to the entrepreneur mindset. We give them names to separate them, but there really is no separation. I like to call it the success mindset. When you truly understand the success mindset, it doesn't matter what era you're living in, and it doesn't matter if you go from rich to broke, because as long as you have the one thing that can dictate whether you're going to have another chance to get back up and become better, and that is time. If you have time on your side, then you can go broke and come back. Because this person with that mindset won't be like, well, I'm 30 years old and I worked so hard to get here and I lost everything. Now life sucks. I'm just going to go ahead and do something drastically and take myself out or something like that. And I'm just being dramatic here, but a lot of people think that. A lot of people think that, if they lose, they have the nice relationship, they have the nice house, they have the nice this, a nice job, and they think they lose it, that the life ends. It doesn't end. You kind of have to be like a scrapper, you know what I mean? And I don't mean like a person who goes out and picks up, stuff like that and sells it, I'm talking about like the old term, meaning like someone who's a street, who's kind of like from the street, who's willing to throw down and rebuild, and they're like, oh, so what? I lost that, I get it again. So what? Big deal. Well, okay, so I was in a relationship with this amazing person, loved them, wish them the best, but you honestly think that they were the only ones in the world that will match me vibrationally, and that they're developing themselves and they're great in themselves? There's a lot of people who are great. There's a lot of things out there that is abundance. We are living in a time of true abundance, true opportunity. Anyone that understands, there's a saying that goes, those who have ears, let them hear. Okay? And so the ones that understand what I'm saying when I'm talking about the success mindset, they know that opportunity comes not from luck of, oh, if I was, right place, right time. No, opportunity comes from you choosing to believe that you can accomplish such a thing, and then you align yourself, and then the luck is created, because the luck is created by you working in perfect harmonic alignment with the universe, with God universe. And when you do it that way, you must, as long as you believe and as long as you're working with God, with universe, in that way, at that level, nothing can deter you. Nothing can stop you. The only one that can stop you and deter you is yourself. So by understanding this mindset, and by running your business, okay, and taking more responsibility for what are you doing? What are you thinking? Are you concerned about somebody else's business? Are you concerned about what someone else is doing? That's their business. Let them run their business. Let them run their company. Okay, so the next time you say, "Oh, you hear somebody says mind your business," or you say mind your business, remember that that's actually pertaining to you, closely pertaining to you, because you're like, wow, that's true. It's what am I doing? What am I putting time into somebody else's business? Every time you give attention to some drama, to what someone else is doing, if right now I'm driving to work, if I'm cursing out or concerned about some other driver who's driving crazy, and instead of saying, okay, I wish them their best, I hope that they get home safe, because if they got into an accident, it's not going to just affect them, it's going to affect everybody else, may even affect you, because you may be stuck in traffic. So instead of having putting that energy, that attention to them, just wish them the best, let it go. And then you can take from that and say, I'm going to learn from that. I'm not going to be the kind of driver. I'm grateful that they showed me that, they reflected that to me, so that I won't be that kind of driver. So that's an investment in yourself, because you're building the characteristical trait. It's not just about trying to be a nice person or do the right thing. It's about doing the right thing for your business, for your company, by developing the proper characteristical traits, which in turn will give you the greatest investment ever. You see, when you develop the characteristical traits like determination, unconditional love, persistence, there's so many. But when you develop a lot of these characteristical traits, and what I would recommend you doing is that you look at some of the people who are very successful. You look at Oprah Winfrey, you look at Will Smith, you look at the great masters, Napoleon Hill, Anthony Robbins, okay, Henry Ford. You look at people like that, the people who were doing this stuff in a time in the 30s, in a time where it was the economy was, quote unquote, the worst, the Great Depression and all these things, okay? But they were some of the most successful people at the time. And in fact, it was the development of, and this is just a side note, it was the development of the entrepreneurship that was introduced by Napoleon Hill that allowed the Great Depression to have. There were more self-made millionaires in the Great Depression than any other time in our history. Okay, and you can look that up. And most people don't hear about this information. Most people don't talk about it because they probably don't know about it. But the ones that know about it don't talk about it. Why? Because it's all about, most of this information has always been about keeping it in the dark. But now we have to have people, and such as myself, what I'm trying to do is bring this knowledge out there and share it. I was thinking about it this morning. I was thinking about, wow, I have this knowledge and it's been changing my life. And it's a blessing. And it's a total blessing. Like I wanted to go to London, and my company ends up paying for me to go to London for a whole week. Everything totally paid for, and it was a crazy amount of money that they spent. And spoke to my higher ups yesterday, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna send you again next year, maybe for a couple more times." No one invests like that. That's because you don't do anything. All you do is you put yourself in alignment, internally, externally, as within, so without. What you believe in here, you must attract out here, and that's what you do. But you have to develop the mindset. You have to invest into yourself by developing the mindset, and stop focusing. This is so important. The more you focus on the external, the more you're taking away from your business, which is yourself. The more you're taking time and you're reading about the universal laws, you're studying the great masters, Napoleon Hill, Anthony Robbins, Brian Tracy, Bob Proctor. These are people who are still alive today. These are some of the great masters that really understand this material about paradigms, about changing your paradigms, your belief habits. You change that, you become a new person. But those paradigms, those belief habits are characteristical traits. You develop those characteristical traits that the success people have. These traits that you have to have. Okay? And when you do that, your mind starts to have that knowledge of how to deal with different circumstance, situations, and events externally. And then it helps you to realize how to react or not to react physically, emotionally. And those are the things that make the difference from a person who understands his knowledge and a person who doesn't understand his knowledge. Okay? That's the game changer. So as you gain the knowledge and you start to grow within that seed of desiring success, abundance, happiness, joy, absolute bliss in your life, that desire to have all those things because they are one, when you start to feed that by investing in yourself, by running your business the best that you can, run that business like you're running like if you work more in your business than you would work in your own, for somebody else's company, for your own job. Because you got to remember, a lot of us look at someone else's company and we were like, okay, well, this company went from, and this is just an example. Let's say you say, oh, you work for your company for 5 years, you work really hard for your company, and your company goes from making probably like 20 million a year company to now they're like, man, they had a big explosion this year, they're making 60 million. And what happens? Your time of, it just happens that your raise is up now. Time for a raise, your yearly review. And what happens? You probably get like 50 cents, right? 40 cents, 50 cents. And a lot of people will get upset at that. Like, wow, I'm putting so much of my time, so much of my life, into this, that is taking time away from my family, my own desires, which is why a lot of us don't see investment. And then you get frustrated and you get angry because like, why, these people are this company's making so much money, but they can only give me this amount. Well, you got to understand, you're right and you're wrong by thinking like that. And at the same time, the company is right and wrong, which is a fictional company. That's an example I'm talking about. They're right and wrong as well. You see, you're right in the form that, yeah, you should. You deserve greater than that. You know that you do. You're wrong in thinking that you're supposed to get it from somebody else's business. You see? Or somebody else's company. Remember, a company is business. We're talking the same thing. And so you haven't been investing in your business, in yourself, which is your company. So the investment will not be a high investment as the other person who has been hiring the right people and doing things a certain way for their company. They're a physical company. They're business. And because they are doing that, and I guarantee that those same people that are investing in their physical business have also invested in their own business, their own selves, which leads to the reflection of that great return from the work that they did in their physical business. They've seen that great return. That internal business, they've seen within themselves, they've seen that great return, that equal return, equal or greater than, within the physical business that they're running. So, if you want to see greater return, more money, more opportunity, more happiness, success, then you have to invest more within yourself, within your business, your business. And you do that by putting more work within yourself, developing the characteristical traits, gathering that knowledge, testing that knowledge, going out there and seeking that knowledge. Every day, you're studying something that has to do with the universal laws. The universal laws is key. The universal laws will feed you and help you build the proper characteristical traits. Okay? And then as you develop those characteristical traits, you start to change. Because the new characteristical traits are going to build the new paradigms. And when you start building those new paradigms or habits, then you start not just thinking about the universal laws and thinking about having characteristical traits or thinking about habits. You actually are now having those habits within yourself. You build yourself new by building the characteristical traits. You build the habits, and then the habits, now you're living it. And when you're living it is when you're applying it, and when you're applying it is when you're reflecting externally, and when you're reflecting externally whatever your desires and wants are, is when the universe will mirror that reflection back to you. That's when you start seeing your results. That's how it works. Okay? So, and then, like I said, the company that you're working for, they're right and they're wrong. They're right in the ways that they're putting in the work into themselves, which is reflecting externally in their business, in the material, in the financial. That's why they made this, whatever, again, it's fictional company, make the $60 million. So they're seeing that. So they're right in that. Are they wrong in the fact that, it's not, if you think about the law of karma, that it's not right that they're not, providing and showing their, rewarding the people? I think it was Bob, was it Brian Tracy? Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was Brian Tracy that says that if you build the people will build the company. And so that may be a fault that individual, that boss that runs that company, they may need to understand or learn that, but that's something that they have to deal with, because that's their business, and eventually it will affect their business. If it does affect it, that's still their business, and if it doesn't affect it, that's still their business. They're running their business. Let's let people run their business. And that's what most of us need to do, is let us as individuals allow other individuals to run their business, their own personal business. The way we do that is take away our attention to what they're doing, what they're not doing, to complaining, to judging, to worrying about what's going on over here, over there. No. Put your attention onto yourself, onto your business. Feed your business by studying and learning and understanding the universal laws. Try to do your best as you walk on your path to apply those laws and understand those laws. Or ask the universe for mentors so they can teach you. And the mentor doesn't necessarily have to be a physical mentor, someone that you actually are in contact with. It could be a mentor that from the past. Some of my mentors are people who are no longer around in the physical. But you look at they've left the footprint, and you can follow those footprints because they're proven footprints. They've proven methods, such as Napoleon Hill. Okay? And so, I hope this information helps you on your outlook now on why it's so important to mind your own business. Okay? Mind your business. And it's not in a negative way. If you're thinking it's a negative way, then you totally missed the point. Mind your own business, meaning every day. Tell yourself when you're worrying about somebody else, when your attention's on something outside of you, and your attention's not on you. In other words, here's a good example. If for myself, if I'm spending more time like, wow, look at that stupid tree. Oh, I can't believe they didn't cut that bush. Oh, look at this car. That person could have washed their car. Oh, look at this crazy driver. Oh, my boss said, if I'm thinking like that more throughout my day, then I'm not minding my own business. And the investment that I would like to have come back to me as a return is going to be non-existent. In fact, my investment will be a negative one. -0. So if you think about that if you look at that if you convert that energy into the equivalent of finance currency, then you're not gonna get nothing, not a dime. Okay, but if you look at it, if you are thinking, okay, look at it, if you see something outside of you and your attention, because sometimes that happens, we're human, your attention sees this guy driving over crazy, driving crazy, and you could just flip that negative desire to say something negative, and you can say, I wish them the best. May they get home safe and sound. And then you be grateful, go into that level of gratitude and say, I'm grateful for that. I'm in a better situation and whatnot, and I'm grateful. And then you can bless them and say, I'm grateful that they're in a better situation. You can even take, if this is, an overextension of this, not many people would do this, but by investing in something else is not necessarily, in the physical sense. So I could say, I'm grateful that, you could wish them that they have a better vehicle and say, I'm grateful that they have a brand new vehicle. You can kind of like proclaim that for them, get that vibration started for them, knowing that that's an investment, because remember, what you put out there is what you're going to receive in return. So that's why it's so important that every time you give your attention to something, let it be something positive so that you return positive. And if you're spending your time doing that, that's great. You see someone that needs healing, say, I'm grateful for their perfect healing. Boom, you're investing in your healing. I'm grateful. You see someone who is homeless, I'm grateful for their abundance of wealth. Boom, you're investing in your wealth, because as you're blessing them, you're receiving that same the same desire that you're giving out for them, you're going to receive it for yourself. So that's one way of investing, giving your attention, using your mind, mastering the faculties of your mind, commanding it to see and to focus and to invest on the positive. And another way of doing it is, if you're not doing that, then you can spend time within yourself using affirmations, building yourself up, or in gratitude. You could be sitting there saying thank you to the universe. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. Thank you for the beautiful day. Thank you for another chance. So you can give your attention that way, okay? And of course, the other way we've talked about is listening to audio tapes while you're driving, or if you're at work and you're able to listen to positive things like books or stories, anything. Seek out that knowledge, seek out that information. So those are different tools that I've given you, that if applied throughout your day, you're going to find that your mind is more focused on positive. And if you're doing that, then that's where you want to be, because now you know that you're investing in yourself. You're growing yourself by doing these things. It may not be evident right away, but know that it is happening. That's where the let go, let God, or have faith comes into play. Knowing that these things that you're doing work. And that's why it's good to have, people that we look at as mentors, because when we see that those are the same steps that they took, those are the same techniques that they use, and that they receive great return within their own business, their own selves, then know that as long as you continue to do that, then you can expect, because you're expecting from yourself. When you expect from someone outside, you're going to set yourself up for a big disappointment. When you're expecting from yourself and you say, this is going to work because I command it to work. I'm going to continue to work on this, no matter how long it takes. You don't look at time as, it's going to take me 5. No, it'll take when it takes. All I have to do is change my belief and how long it's going to, within myself, and it'll come. The more you put time into yourself, the quicker your investment will give the bigger return, because you remove the doubts, the disbeliefs, and the separations. It's the doubts, the disbelief within ourselves that creates our time delays. Until next time, I hope this information helped you guys. Love and peace, Desiree.